ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ironworker Gaming Channel. I am Ironworker814 and thank you for joining me for another Destiny 2 PvP 5-minute exotic armor review. So if you want to learn exactly what this exotic armor piece can do for you in a short amount of time, you've come to the right place. This review was requested by Impui. Either way, the armor piece we're taking a look at today is the Astrocyte Verse exotic helmet for your Warlock. And if you find this video useful or enjoyable, leaving it a like and subscribing to the Ironworker Gaming Channel are two completely free ways to show your support. But Astrocyte Verse, which was released into Destiny 2 in Season of Opulence, brought some desperately needed changes to the Warlock's Blink. And if you're very new to the game and have no idea what I'm talking about, Blink is a short-range teleportation ability that Warlocks can apply to their jump. So how exactly does this exotic affect said ability? And what can it do for us in-game? We'll cover all that moving forward in this review, but first we'll take a look at Astrocyte Verse's exotic perk. Alright, the exotic perk on Astrocyte Verse is Move to Survive. Blink further and more frequently, weapon readies quickly out of blink, and radar remains up. And obviously this exotic pairs only with the blink jump available to you through the Void subclass. So this will do absolutely nothing for you if you have Burst Glide or Strafe Glide equipped. So how much more frequently can we blink? When using your blink ability rapidly, I like to look at this ability in sets of 3 jumps. Looking at things without Astrocyte Verse equipped, we have our initial blink. From the very instant that we re-emerge, it is roughly 1.25 seconds until we can blink again. And then to blink a third time, you will need to wait another 3 seconds. This is what I consider one full cycle. Your blink will basically be on cooldown after this for about 5 seconds until you can repeat the process. When Astrocyte Verse is equipped, the time between Blink 1 and Blink 2 is just under 1 second. In between Blink 2 and Blink 3, we're looking at right around 2.5 seconds. And then the time between our blink cycles goes down to about 4.5 seconds. Now keep in mind there almost certainly is some human error in here to a certain degree, but I worked with a pretty large sample size and ran things back frame by frame, so I am reasonably confident with these numbers. To see how quickly our weapon will ready itself to fire, I held down the trigger as the blink engaged, did my best to keep the crosshairs stationary, and referenced how high up on this wall the bullets began to land. When you do have Astrocyte Verse equipped, from the instant the teleportation occurs, it takes 1 second for the weapon to begin to fire. Without this exotic equipped, we're looking at 1.5 seconds for our weapon to become ready and start firing bullets. So we are talking about improvements of about half a second in both aspects. To check the increased blink distance, I tried to blink during a full sprint as my Guardian moved over to this capture flag. Again, probably some human error to a certain degree, but without Astrocyte Verse, I was blinking about 17 meters on the button. And when I put Astrocyte Verse back on, I was blinking out to the 21 meter mark very consistently. So here we're looking at a blink distance increase of 4 meters. Astrocyte Verse will also increase the height that your blink will propel you to. I really have no tangible way of measuring the increase here, but as you can see on screen, the difference is quite noticeable. And now that we've covered how Astrocyte Verse functions, let's talk about its utility in the Crucible. Me personally, I tend to use Blink very infrequently in the Crucible, but it definitely is a useful movement ability in the right hands. Without Astrocyte Verse, Blink definitely loses a lot of its utility, especially in the weapon readying department. In both the blink frequency and the blink to engagement time, we are only seeing half a second differences, but in many cases in PvP, that half a second is the difference between you losing or winning a gunfight. The betterment of both of these things and the fact that your radar remains active when you're blinking, I personally would never use Blink in PvP without having Astrocyte Verse equipped. Offensively, Astrocyte Verse makes your blink the ultimate surprise gotcha exotic, especially when paired with a shotgun or a sidearm. You have the ability to teleport onto an enemy player from a long ways out, and when you rematerialize right next to them, they have a very short window to react, giving you a big leg up in this engagement. Defensively, you can get yourself out of a lot of trouble with Astrocyte Verse. Being able to blink away from a situation that has turned sour is extremely useful. And many times while live testing, I found myself getting out of a tight spot, where without Blink and Astrocyte Verse, I certainly would have went down. Also, your Blink will momentarily pull you off the enemy's radar, and will break the tracking of any secret projectiles that have locked onto you. So, all in all, we do have some great utility here. Personally though, I don't run Blink for a few reasons. First off, I always screw it up. I feel like that I am just as bamboozled coming out of a blink as the enemy player that I just jumped on. Usually this results in an off-target shotgun blast and me hoping and praying that I can win the melee fight. Sometimes I undershoot my desired landing spot, which is great for causing some of those oh crap moments, and other times I overshoot my spot and throw myself off the edge of the map. Also, if you happen to be charging a grenade, be it through Feed the Void, Handheld Supernova, or the Charged Vortex grenade through Chaos Accelerant that I rely heavily on, blinking will disengage the charging process. Certainly something to be aware of. And as for PvE usage, pretty much only crazy people run blink in PvE. But that's not to say that crazy is bad. Crazy can be good. Crazy is what makes the world fun and exciting. But as for its overall usefulness, I really can't think of any scenarios where using Astrocyte Verse and blink in PvE activities could be all that beneficial. And that's gonna wrap things up here, and since you've made it to this point in the video, please remember to leave it a like if you did enjoy it, and consider subscribing to the Ironworker Gaming channel to see more videos similar to this one. If you'd be interested in following me on Twitch or Twitter, you can look for Ironworker814 on either of those platforms. I did actually hop on stream last night for the first time in like 2 months, and I had a blast. Hopefully you'll see me on there a little more often. And if you'd like to contact me, the best way to do so is to comment down below. Your thoughts, your feedback, and your opinions are always considered and always greatly appreciated. And with all that being said, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out this armor review. You guys are awesome, and I will catch you on the next one.